All right, guys. Today's trades did three trades in total today, and some not so good, but some really good, and ended up with a profitable P&L today of $111 on my trades today total. So did really good and had some really good trades, and I had a couple not so good trades, but overall, I think that just with everything going on in the current market, the way things going, I mean, the market seems to be a lot hotter than it was just a month ago, and things are really starting to heat up here as we get moving in the summer months here. Normally isn't like this, but hopefully it does start to keep going this way, so that way we get some better opportunities for more trades and things like that. So let's get into it. Today I was actually looking at three different stocks today. When I first got up this morning, I was looking at DRMA, and I didn't really know they had some kind of news on this particular stocks, trading over 100%, but they didn't have like anything huge. Like, okay, so they had phase 3 program includes 2 trials evaluating, so there was some news on this stock. That's what was pushing it up. I was also looking at NUZE today, and it didn't seem to have anything of any kind of real news I noticed on that one. And then we had BBLG. This was the other stock I was looking at today, and it did, I think it had some news on it, not sure. Let's see, gained, yeah. So it didn't seem to have anything like real definitive news on it, but it was moving up nonetheless. And overall, it felt like those three stocks, if anything is going to happen today, those three stocks were going to be it. Now, the way I choose those stocks is based on what I've learned in the program over at Warrior Trading. I'm not specifically calling their program out or affiliated with them or anything like that. That's just who I follow. I follow Ross Cameron over there, and I've been studying this stuff now since the beginning of March, and I have a background in stocks and stuff like that. So I obviously have been doing this I know a bit more about this. Not saying you can't get into this. Definitely try getting into this. Get into it, learn about it. Follow me, subscribe to the channel, do those things, because it's going to help you and your trading as well, and by seeing what other people are doing. And I'm strictly here with this channel to document what I'm doing and share what I've done, and hopefully I can learn from my trades and using it as a way to journal and learn more about my trades. So I picked these stocks based on some different criteria. Today, I mean, overall we want to have high volume. So today we had 65 million on DRMA. We want a lower float or outstanding shares. Less than 700,000, which is great. That's really low. That gives us less supply, which means there's a better chance that we're going to see these stocks shoot up because of less supply. And then, our average volume is 1.114 million, and we are at 65. So we want to see at least 5 times relative volume, at least what I'm recommended. And based on our volume, we're well above that. So this looks like a pretty good candidate for a stock today. So we were definitely looking at BBLG, and the same thing here. We're looking at our average volume, our actual volume for the day, and honestly, it's 2.78 million is the average, and the actual volume is 135 million. So it's way up. Our float is low again as the other one, and then when we get into DRMA, we can see something just the same. We see that our average volume is 1.14 million and our actual volume 65.21. So, and our float is actually very low as well. So we have some very low float stocks overall today, and that helped. It's just when, like, for example, this one right here, NUZE, didn't have no news on it. I don't know what was really the driving factor behind this particular stock. So let's get into the trades here real quick, and I will show you what I took overall as a trade. So just to start, my very first trade was on NUZE, and one of the things I was seeing here as I was taking this particular trade, I was looking, I seen this move here, and I thought we were getting a pullback. And one of the things I saw, and that should have deterred me from taking this trade altogether, was this topping tail right here. This topping tail right here was kind of a giveaway that, hey, the bears are pushing this back down and maybe I shouldn't get into this stock right here. So I decided to take the trade anyways, though. For some reason, it didn't register in my mind that I should have just, stayed away or just sat back and watched. And so what I did was, we'll go back here real quick. I got in this trade at $3.76, and oh wait a minute, no, $4.43, and I stopped out at $3.94. So I got in way up here, 443. So I was down. I was in about down in here, right about here. Okay. So, and then it shot back up, and it looked promising, like this was really going to go through the roof, and then it just pulled back down. The bears beat it back down, and then I got into this particular candle here, and I thought, well, this could be a little bit of a longer pullback, but if it breaks below this candle right here, the candle I was just in, then we have what's called a candle under candle session, which means that we've broken the pattern and it's not good anymore. So, and that is exactly what happened. As soon as this candle got down into here, I broke out of that trade and ended up stopping out at 3 something because it dropped pretty quick. Should have got out a bit sooner than that, but I wanted to hold and just see what would happen, and it was the wrong move. And the thing I've been learning is that if the move is not materializing right away, you should just get out and take your loss and move on. And that's what I should have done. And I would have saved myself, $91, obviously, because that's what that ended up costing me on NUZE, was $91. So honestly, that's where honestly, it just didn't. I should have done there, but it was a mistake. I seen this happening, and it was a topping tail, and it just wasn't resolving really very fast. So I should have just cut my losses and got out right away. So that trade overall, the MACD really wasn't up that high either, and we had this big selling volume candle. That's like a bad sign that things are not going the right way. We should have just got out right away. And I took the loss, but I learned a few things along the way. So it is what it is, and we're moving on. So, all right. So the next stock I jumped into, I was actually looking at 2 stocks at that point, and that was DRMA, which was this stock. Let's see. Let's get this situated here. And the other one was BBLG. Now I looked at both of these stocks, and at that point in time when I was looking at both of them, this particular stock was just, it seemed like it was starting to take off, and I actually jumped in right at about, let's see what I jumped in at. Right at about 200 shares, right at 343. So let's look at it. 343. I was in right around the bottom, right at about here. 43, right at about here. So at this point, I jumped in. We were, honestly, I felt like we had this little bit of a pullback on this candle right here, and I jumped in, and it filled a little bit higher than I wanted to, and then it shot up. And then it halted, which I was like, this is good. We are in the right spot. And then at that time, while I was waiting, I was like, well, let's go back and look at BLG. And it was doing literally the same thing. Now, one thing that I should have also taken in consideration, though, was this big red candle right here. We had some huge red selling volume. And that's the thing. All 3 of these stocks had that big red selling volume bar right there, and that was not a good sign, which means that it's probably going to get beat back down by the bears because we're going to, obviously there could be a hidden seller in there or something along that lines, and that could be a problem for what I was dealing with. So I ended up doing is I set for about 5 minutes, and then on resumption, this thing just shot up. And I did, let's see what I ran at. So 343 to 459, and that came up $1.05 per share. and that was definitely more than a base hit today, more than I was expecting to get today, you know. But it was nice to see that move. And then right after this move, I got in, you know, so I got out about right in here for total, let's see, where did I get? 459. So I at about 459, 460. So yeah, that was about right in here. I got out there, but I only sold half. And then for some reason I kept that half, the other half in, just thinking maybe it was going to bust through and go up to $5. Bust through $5, and it didn't, and ended up stopping out for a little bit less on there. So it is what it is. But then I felt like it was going to go again because this candle right here was going to pop up, and I jumped in with 200 more shares and lost, I think, $7 on that particular trade. So not a big loss on that one. Wasn't worried about that one. This $91 one I could have foregone, but you know, it is what it is. I have to deal with it. Things that made this trade good though was the fact that between these two lines of resistance, you know, there was some good space there, so we had some room to make our trade since I bought in way down here and were able to bust through this. I was actually only expecting to get up to this line of resistance, take profit, and then hopefully right up to the next line of resistance. Didn't go that way, but it was nice, little surprise to get that. It also made me confident when I seen the MACD wide open like this. It's wide open. It wasn't even curling at that point, so I knew at that point we were in the right position. So overall, on my best trade today, I did $209 on that trade today. So $1.05 per share on 200 shares. That's, you know, that's great. If I could get trades like that every day, and that's the one thing I noticed about all these trades is that overall, when I'm making these trades, every one of them is over the 10-cent mark, except for I think there was one that would have been this one right here on July 2nd, where I only did $13.50. But I did 209 here. I got $1.05 per share here, which was great. Felt great. You know, wish I could have bought more shares on that, but I couldn't. You know, obviously I was limiting myself to $1,000 in this account to replicate what it's going to be like when I get into these accounts with my own money to show, so I can figure out how many shares I have to buy. What do I got to do? So overall, this brings my P&L for the week up to $146.40. And my profit to loss profit ratio is a 2.36 to 1 now, which is great because it's above a 2 to 1 now, back again. And my monthly P&L is in the positive again at $84.10. So we still have a few trading days left in the month, 2 more this week and I think 3 next week overall. Yeah, 3 next week and 2 more yet this week. So overall, those trades are coming, and hopefully we can kind of turn some things around and maybe get things back on board here and get our profit to loss ratio higher, and also get our success rate up more and focus on building up our P&L, building up our profit, and hopefully getting things to the next level. So if you like what you're watching, you like what's going on here, you can definitely subscribe to the channel, follow me, and watch as I learn to day trade. Thanks for coming.